Hello everyone, and welcome to this, my first of 3 videos on the Nikon D5100. This video series is going to go over in the first video what everything on the camera is, in the second video how to use all of the features and functions, and then in the third video the only thing we're going to cover is what's on behind the menu button. We'll go over all of the menus and custom functions. So this is going to be quite lengthy. If there is a specific thing you're looking for in one of the videos, check the video description for an index that is time-stamped and will take you there. And by the end of this video series, you should have a pretty good grasp of how to do everything that this camera can do. So this is the D5100. It is an interchangeable lens APS-C DSLR. What that means is you can take a lens, put it on and off the camera whenever you're not taking a photo, and that's a-okay. APS-C is the image format. So I'm going to do something you should never do and lift this mirror just a little bit. And if you see that shutter curtain behind the mirror, that's the size of the sensor approximately. That's the format of the camera. And DSLR means that it's a digital single lens reflex camera. Digital sensor. Single lens reflex means that when the lens is mounted on the camera, light passes through the lens to this mirror and reflex housing up here, and then to your eye. This uses a 16 megapixel APS-C sized CMOS sensor. It has a 420 pixel red, green, blue 3D matrix multi-mode meter, which also allows the photographer to use center weighted and spot metering. Shutter speeds range from 30 seconds to 1/4000th, as well as B, which is bulb, and it has a 4 frame per second burst rate. The viewfinder, which is on the back right here, has 0.78% magnification and 95% frame coverage. All right, what does that mean? The magnification means that the images you see in the viewfinder are going to be 78% of the size of what's on the sensor, so the viewfinder will shrink things. That is a very small image, and it means that this camera is really going to be best suited for autofocus lens use. Because of this small image, fine focusing with manual focus will be hard to do. If you are going to use manual focus lenses, you will almost certainly want to use the flip out screen with live view and zooming in on live view to do the manual focus work. It will be very hard in the optical viewfinder. 95% frame coverage in the optical viewfinder means that if you imagine that what you're seeing right now is what's going to be on your image, then about 2.5% on each of the sides and then the top and bottom will be cut off in your viewfinder, but will be visible in your photos. The camera's ISO range is 100 to 6400. You can also boost it. There's a boost mode we'll see in the second video that will give you access to, I think it's called High 1 and High 2, which are 12,800 rather, and 25,600. The flash sync speed on this camera is 1/200th of a second, and it also does record video at the maximum size is HD resolution of 1080, and it uses the H.264 codec. The camera's target market was the upper entry user, so this was an entry-level camera, but it was above the 3000 series cameras. And we know it's an entry-level camera because it does have all kinds of bells and whistles that the entry-level cameras have, all these different modes and things like that. But it was a tier up because it has what is empirically a very nice folding screen, the type of what most cameras today still have that have folding screens use a similar layout to this. So folding screens are very nice for things like live focus shooting. So basically this has some added features and functionality versus the D3100, and that made it a tier up. It's also a little bit more of a robust build. This was made by Nikon in Thailand from 2011 until 2012. And now if you have your Nikon D5100, we're going to go over all of the different items on the camera starting here on the top, and we'll talk about what everything is. Here on the two sides are these silver bars are your strap bars. This is where you're going to connect a camera strap. This is a microphone. This is a speaker right here. This is your sensor plane indicator that indicates where the film sensor is if you're doing high magnification microscopy that you need to calculate the magnification for. Pop-up flash. You can see the indicator here for this mode dial inset in the pop-up flash. flash hot shoe, the mode dial itself, your live view switch is right here, info button, video record button, exposure value compensation button, index for your power switch off and on, shutter release button. On the camera's front, we have here the IR sensor for remote controls, stylish red swoop, the autofocus assist light for autofocus use, lens communication button, lens mount. Here we have the lens lock pin, and when you push the lens release button to install or remove a lens, that retracts. This little white dot is your lens mounting index. Here we have your function button. This is your flash pop-up button, model, lens release button, microphone. Underneath this panel, we're going to have the ports that it identifies right here. AV out, GPS connection, HDMI, and microphone. And so if we just lift up this rubber port, here you can see there is that's your GPS connection pin right there. I don't have a GPS unit, so I can't tell you how it's used or demonstrate it for you. This is your AC connection. This is your AV out port right here, HDMI port and microphone port. On this side, we have the SD card port right there. The back of the camera has a number of things. Infrared remote port, green dot and green dot indicate that when you push these down together, they have a function. I'm forgetting it off the top of my head. I believe it's in the notes for the second video. I think pushing these together, now that I think about it, I think formats the memory card, or anyway, we'll get to it in the second video, I'm pretty sure. Menu button, I button. This is your AEL AFL button, also provides a lock function and playback. Rear command dial, play button, cross pad button, OK button. This lamp lights up when the SD card is being written to. This is your zoom in button for during playback, zoom out button during playback, delete button during playback, and of course the flip out screen. There we go. The camera's bottom has a few things: tripod socket, CE mark, different stamps, made in Thailand somewhere on here. There it is, serial number. This is your battery chamber, and I'll show you how to change this in the second video, and we'll talk about the battery some more, but this is where it goes. I have some things that you should not do with your Nikon D5100. Don't touch the mirror, don't touch the shutter, and don't touch the sensor. If you touch the mirror, your finger oils can get on it, which can tarnish the mirror, and that can affect your metering. If you touch the shutter, your finger oils can get onto the shutter and cause it to get gummy, or you could even push the shutter leaves off of their track, and that would cause the shutter to jam. And don't touch the shutter, because if you're picking up on a trend here, your finger oils will leave a fingerprint on the sensor, and that will touching the sensor will mess it up, so you don't want to do that. Don't leave your camera in your car. In addition to the theft risk, the heat, if it's the summer, or the cold, if it's the winter, can affect the integrity of your plastic, the electronics, the lubricating oils in your camera and lens, and can damage your camera and make it not work properly, or potentially even ruin it. And of course, someone might break your window and steal your camera, and neither you nor I want that. The only person who wants that is the person who sees that you left your camera on the front seat of your car. Don't leave your Nikon D5100 in a plastic bag or box, because plastic is moisture permeable, and if water gets into that plastic bag or box, or moisture at any rate, it will be harder for it to get out, and then fungus can grow on your lenses or in the optical system of your camera and can make your whole system not work quite as well as it should. And just remember, your Nikon D5100 is a precision tool that should be handled with care and respect, and as long as you take care of your camera will take care of you. So that's it for video 1. In the next video, we're going to go over what all of the stuff except the menu button does, and then in the third button, we'll go through the entire menu system. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.